any excuse to get Koss back on my desk. Anything. Even if it's studio. Hold on, I'm swapping this back out to the microphone USB wire. Definitely not allowed. Okay. Okay, so these were requested by a patroner too. These are the GMR 545 Airs. And they're a Koss gaming headset. And I tend to like Koss or be biased towards liking Koss for a lot of things. Their Pro 4 AAs, worst headphone I've ever reviewed. KSC 75s, KPH 30Is, Porta Pros, amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Those three things are like the amazing. And this sort of leans in that like cheaper... We're going to see this shape in the future, by the way. Wink, wink, nod, nod, $500 headphone. We're going to see the same shape. This is a gaming headset, open back. See, that's another thing, because people on my Discord were freaking out. Yes, I have a Discord. It's available in the link, in the social media links in the description. Because, oh, closed back Koss, it's garbage. And that's been the case. I bought a couple different cheaper closed back Kosses. I didn't even ask them to send them to me. I just bought them. I asked them to send me these. And they've not been good. They just have not been good. And people have modified and tuned and rewired all sorts of cheap low-end Koss because they're amazing. So I wanted to know, well, what's the deal with these? And I wanted to hear them first. I wanted to judge them on their sound before I judged them on their build. And that's going to be the big nah that we have to get through, is the build is nah. Sound. So they are an over-ear. This is big enough to go over your ear. The pads are not absolutely terrible. They're actually pretty soft for cheap pads. And these headphones are on Amazon currently for $75. So that's shipped 9,500 territory. But it is a USB. Here's the USB plug. I have an IFI adapter going into my phone because I didn't know that was going to work, and it works. So there you go. So it's got a little USB sound card thing attached to it. The most spaghetti-ass fucking wire you've ever seen. Like, this is going to break. It's just, as soon as the chair rolls over this once, it's done. But it is hooked up to a rather nice Flexi Mic with a triangular head. I don't know if this had a cap for it. Is that also, what the hell is that? Is that to source the wire? What is that doing? It looks like it wants to accept the wire in that little slot. I don't know. This is actually, for everything from here over to here is quality. 3.5 millimeter flexi head, triangular head, then shitty ass wire. Just shitty ass 7.5 foot wire. But you're paying for that to be a DAC, and you're paying for that to have a microphone. So let's remove that, and now we have a headphone. A Koss headphone with a removable cable. So automatically it's like, oh, take note. Everyone, take note. Koss headphone, removable wire. The build is different from the other things. Here's a stock set of clear KPH 30Is. I pretty much I impregnated the whole world with these, and I've never been a prouder father. These things are amazing. But the build in these is sort of like retro, old school, new school, like silicone suspension. But you could tell that they're a portable headphone. So getting a headphone that's not a portable headphone, which is pretty much KSC 75s, portable headphone. Porta Pros, portable headphone. These, portable headphone. I've made them less portable, or, well, they're still portable. You just look like a douche, but they're super comfy. We'll get to the new mods on those because we're talking about these. So open back, you can see the grills here. This center bit is hinged, so that's your rotation there, up, down, a little bit of forward, backwards. Here's the flaw. Are you ready? I'm just going to get to it. This headband is cheap plastic, and it will break. I've been told multiple times that, oh yeah, those headphones, yeah, they sound pretty good, but they break. And I believe it, because this feels just like a brittle piece of plastic. If these were like $40, I'd have no complaints. If they break, you throw them away and buy another one, you put tape around it. At $75, it's sort of like, don't break at $75. To some kid, when I was that kid, $75 was like, I can't believe I could get a $75 headphone, period. and then to have it like snap in half 3 weeks later would be the worst thing. And if you're giving it, don't buy these for your kids that are not responsible, or buy them for your kids that are not responsible and train them to be responsible, because they're going to have amazing sound quality, but they're going to break if they don't take care of it, right? So that's the flaw. This headband here is the flaw, and there's really no way to reinforce it. It's just this one giant piece of plastic that goes to, I was going to say metal. I wish it was metal. Goes from one side to the other. If they made it $85 and just made a metal strap on it instead, totally worth it. So the pads fit. It's rather comfortable as far as clamp goes. You have a suspension strap. Now, I have this very specialized piece of audio tuning equipment on my desk. It's a magnetic, like, bag closer for potato chips or whatever you want to hang on your fucking thing. And I had this and this mellowing out for a while doing this. There you go, that. Because this suspension strap is very well, it's fucking beautiful. Like the pads, that's fabric and it's soft. It's none of the hard, like I would love, and I would love my whole body to be covered in, well, that's like welts. I don't want that. But this is a nice, soft, nice thing. The problem was, it's, I would say spring-loaded, but it's this elastic band inside that holds it firm, and then when you put it on, it stretches up. The problem is these weigh nothing. And the elastic was very new. So you would put it on, it still has quite a bit of retention to it, even though I've like super tried to fuck it for months, over a month. It's been sitting there just stretched. Like, please, like just that. If you get these, first thing you do is you get 2 of these and you clip one here and you put another one here and you just stretch that stuff and leave it on the table burning in. These burned in for like 300 hours or something. Because just ignore them and put them on the burner rig and ignore it. Because once you get rid of, because that's the main problem with the fitment once you get them, is you got to put them on your ears, and that spring just shoots it up off your ears. It's like, no, I went down, no, up, down, up. Elastic says up, down, but I want to go up. So by literally squeezing it with the clamp and just leaving it there, it sort of removed a bit of that absurd springiness. And now, because they don't weigh anything, to like LCDX, it wouldn't have a problem. LCDX weigh something, and it would go on your head and spring down. What other good headphone has a spring system? X2s. X3s still have a spring system? X3s, I think, still have a spring system. X2s and X3s have a spring system. And it works, because they're big headphones, and they sit down. These were just popped off my ears. So now, I pull them down, and there's like a little bit of like a spring, but my ears are inside and it's comfortable. Super comfortable, like fucking crazy comfortable. These are some of the most comfortable headphones, period, because they weigh nothing. I could just whip my head, or I'm gonna hurt my neck if I do that a lot, but. Whoa, I apologize to the audience at home. That was a lot. But I could do that and they don't move because they clamp just enough with the plastic that's going to break, and now that the spring isn't shooting off my head and the pads barely touch, they're just like around my ear. It's like the perfect D on my head. It's nice. It's nice in here. You already know they're going to break. You're not already know they're overpriced. But how do they sound, Zeos? Well, through the USB, and I've been comparing via the USB, via my phone, to this is the IFI iDSD Neo, which is like $700. And I plugged in the little extra wire. It comes with 2 wires, by the way. One wire is this one, the little spaghetti one. And it comes also with this one, which is a microphone wire also. It just doesn't have the mouthpiece. But it's a 4-wire to 3-wire Koss labeled. It's the basic KPH30i like level wire. So much, I mean, here, I know the original KPH30i wire is not great, but look at the thickness change. It's so much thicker and better, and it's not even that great a wire. So, but here's the thing, this is the first Koss product I've ever had where I could just like, and then use the real wire. So this is the SKW cable. I'm gonna plug, oh, well, I agree. Let's plug this in. So this is one of those like cables I found on the internet one day and was like, I want to try this. And it's beautiful and fabric and metal and oh. Bye, boopers. We all love you. I'm just gonna yell at the basement. She'd be fine. So honestly, sound difference between these two before I even get into it, although maybe the wire was holding it back, so give me a second. I have to. Susu Studio. No, the thing that holds it back with the USB cable is it doesn't get very loud. Now, these are an open back headphone, which for gaming is a little rare, but I have no problem. I have personally no problem with an open back headphone for gaming, but I also don't have a brother, sister, mother, father. I don't have to use them to watch porn at night. I'm okay with it. Most people are going to go for closed back. When you go for closed back, that changes the sound, that changes the sound stage. So having an open back gaming headphone is kind of nice. Now, ignoring the fact that these are for gaming for a second, hello gamers, don't worry, there'll be specific videos for you guys. Where is this thing? Chubers. That's Chewbacca. For those of you who are new to the channel, this is my girl cat, Chewbacca. I have to mention girl because everyone's like, how's that boy cat doing, Chewbacca? Just because the cat's named Chewbacca, don't assume it's sex. That thing has a vagina. Yeah, the big limitation to the USB is it's slightly too quiet. Now, that could just be because my phone is doing it. I wasn't going to set it up on 9 different computers and play with it. But I've got it maxed out here in FooBar playing FLAC. And it sounds pretty decent. That's the thing. When you get a good headphone, the headphone matters the most. I mean, your music matters a lot. I would say I would give 40% of like the quality if you're listening to like absolute garbage versus like, oh, that's really well recorded. And then if like your headphone is absolute garbage, oh, your headphone is really good, there's 80% of your sound right there. And you want to attribute everything else to the other 20% to DACs and wires and fucking quarks in the air, whatever you want to do. In fact, I'd probably even go 45 and 45 and leave the rest of it to less than 10%. So the wire doesn't make a difference in sound unless it's crap. But as far as volume and power, that has power. I'm going to skip some Susu Studio. Hold on. Ooh, MIA Paper Planes. So here's the thing. These sound like the cheaper Koss. And that's the least insulting fucking thing I can think of. If I pull out a $400 headphone and I'm like reviewing it, and I say, you know what this sounds like? The cheap Koss. The KPH-30Is, KSC-75s, and Porta Pros. That is the highest fucking level of praise. Put that on a bullet point on your fucking multi-$100 headphones. Because Koss cheap stuff sounds perfect. So what you gain from going off of the USB and onto like a normal thing is you get the volume, which I think is important because these are a little bit hard to drive. And then you get the sound. You don't get, it's not as open. Like it literally isn't. It can't be. We've got a little bit of fabric in front of the driver here. I can actually pull one of these off if you want to see. So yeah, you got a little piece of fabric here covering the driver. And you got no opening. See, one of the things about the KPH-30i, which I will now pull this pad off, is that the driver is there, and then there's like a 1/4 inch here and maybe a 1/2 inch there, but that's all that covers it. And then when you do a mod, whether you put on a pair of pads like this, I'll link to the guy who sent me these pads. They make them a little bit, I want to say warmer, but it's like closed. We're working on it because he wants them on the clears and I put them on the opaques. So I'll have to play with these a little more. You might see them in the future. But yeah, link to this guy who makes these. He modifies these pads specifically for KPH-30Is. But you can put other pads on. Now this makes it closed back. This makes it, well, closed in. And what I like to do is put on a giant stupid foam pad like this. And this is a Grado 1000 pad. Grado 1000 pad. And you have to modify the Grado pad by literally taking a scissor and going swoop and cutting a slot. That's for the wire. And you take off the original pads off of your whatever the hell, either clears or opaques. I prefer the clears now that I have them. And I've added another modification, which let me show you this. Deconi Nugget. You know why Deconi Nugget's back there? Because it goes behind your ear. Otherwise, you have this big foam thing pressing on your ear, and the fucking Grado pads are not comfortable, but they're big and open and better than the stock Koss pads. If you put this behind your ear, now this touches the back of your head behind your ear. Nothing here actually touches your ear, and then only this part touches your ear. So there'll be another modification of this in the future where I cover this with something nice, like a beautiful soft fabric. Whatever the fuck they've got going on here would be lovely against the side of my head. So yeah, the problem with this is that even though it's open back only through the driver. Whereas this If you look at it, you see driver. All of this is open. All of it. All this foam is breathable and sound could travel right through it, or it's slightly dull, but this is a big wall. This is not a 1/4 inch around. This is a fucking inch plus around everything. And you get that sort of lessening of openness. And put this back on. I like how the pads just come right off. And it actually does. A lot of these cheaper headphones don't have the ability to like just change pads. So the fact that I was able to just pull that off and just put it back on. I'm a professional at this now, by the way. There's a technique I can't teach you unless you join my class for $49.95 for 3 days. A workshop and changing pads quickly. Ow! It just hit me in the fucking eye. I'm sure someone's gonna clip that. That was like, that spring loaded into my fucking head. Ow. That's right. I don't need my eyes to hear music. So you get all this openings around it, but you don't actually have anything pass through. Plus, these are a very sealed pad. They're not a big foam pad. It might be better with a foam pad. But for what it does, for what it's doing, because I could still hear myself speaking, it's just muffled. The sound signature versus the cheaper Koss is a little more direct. I can't even say it lacks much soundstage. It's still there. The most important thing is tonality, all right? Tonality. Because if it's too bassy, if it's got too much treble, if the mid-range is missing, I don't like it. I don't like a headphone, right? I just have to, it has to have some very basic things for me to give it the okay. And this is a Koss product. It's a cheap Koss product. It's going to have the sound. It's going to lack the build quality. And this has the sound. It's different from those. You could rock to these. You could rock to these. If you're not using them as a gaming headset, if you're not putting this on it, although even with the wire, I just tucked on the floor, you can plug that right into your Xbox controller. You don't, a microphone doesn't need, let me break some myths. In fact, I might have to do this on the Gaming Fidelity 2021 video. The microphone doesn't have to be in your mouth. The only time a microphone has to be like right there is if it's a microphone that cuts like everything off. But most of the time, a microphone that's like that far away from your mouth, which is what a like neck wire microphone. If I pick this up, this microphone here, because you know you can use KPH 30Is with the microphone. Like this microphone will work for gaming. If it has a 4-pin plug it into your Xbox or plug it into your computer's onboard sound card. This can work as a gaming headset with no other modifications. Just this is your microphone. So what if it's hanging down by your collarbone? Your collarbone's not far enough away from your mouth to make it matter. It's just that it's going to pick up a little bit more of the room and environment than a dedicated, you know, in front of your face. What this microphone is it's not sensitive. They lower the sensitivity as far as they can. So you got to put it inside you so that, you know, you don't hear other people talking. It's specifically what that microphone design is for. Now, actually, I just realized I could use this for a whole bunch of headphones over there. What has a single 3.5mm input? Well, the Fidelios do. I wonder if there's a powered Fidelios. Because Koss should sell, someone should sell this. They sell the V-Moda Boom Pro. They sold the other ones like the Audio Technicas, where it's just a 3.5mm or an Audio Technica connector and a mic. But none of them led to USB, which is, if you lead to USB, then you're done. You just plug it in. It covers your microphone drivers. It covers your audio drivers. It's got I was thinking this might be doing DSP correction to these headphones. It's not. I was hoping beyond hope that maybe if there was any sort of flaws in the audio, well, they could program this to do anything they want. They could change the frequency response. They could change, you know, they can change the frequency response. I don't know what else they would do in a DSP to correct these. But they didn't change. From there to there, the difference was this is obviously $700 and clearer and has more power than that. But other than that, it's, you know, the signature didn't wobble. The weebles warbles, but they don't fall down. Ramshackle eyes, lips, body from Hackers OST. Yeah, like the equivalent of this unit, I think is like -28 here. If I would switch the wires, I got this playing full volume, and I got this playing the same exact song. By the way, SSSSS Dinah Zygerin is good. I don't know if it's as good as Gridman. It's not going to have the waifu staff, but it's good. This is 28 and this was 0. This, I prefer like somewhere in the 24, 23. So like 4 or 5 more decibels of listening to get them to like the level. And I don't blast headphones. Some people have critiqued me like, well, you listen to this shit so loud. I listen to it loud enough that I can't have a conversation wearing headphones. You know, there's other reviewers that could listen to shit way louder than me. And I'm like, no, you need your ears. Yeah, no, these sound like an expensive set of headphones. It's just, but they're cheap costs. Game of Thrones. I guess, what am I saying here? I'm saying if you buy these, they're gonna break. But if you can keep them from breaking, they're extremely comfortable with no modifications. You can change the wire, which would be a modification if you wanted to have a less shitty wire. This is a beautiful wire. They work okay for gaming. I have that Squad Realistic War Sounds. Squad Realistic War Sounds. Boom. Yeah, soundstage is slightly narrower just from being not in an as open environment. These are extremely open and these are open. So you get a little bit more focus on things. Imaging is still great. Like, imaging is like what you need in games to figure out this versus just like, it's like, oh. So imaging is fine. They actually have some low end, which I think that's one of the benefits of capturing sound. It's like what these pads do. They capture it a little bit more and they give you a little more low end. More night. God, what is all this Phil Collins doing? I love it. Out of like 30,000 songs, Phil Collins comes on twice. Yeah, no. I have no issues with the sound on these. None at all. The problem is that if this needs to be stretched out, this probably is not a bad investment, and they're going to break. I want to break these for you. I really want to just literally go like that and just see where it fails, because I could just smell it's going to fail. But if you're like, it doesn't twist this way, like, yeah, there's actually a seam there. Like, why would you seam it there? Why would there be 2 seams or scratches there? If they made these 100, Koss, I know you're listening because you love me and I love you. If you made these 100, fix the headband, give less crappy wires, offer a solid pad and a suede pad, and change nothing but the sound, they'd be absolutely worth 100. $25 more. Oh, and loosen this up. This is just, it's just, I know it's going to wear over time. Like, that's what they're expecting. It's just, these don't weigh any. They weigh nearly, it's fine. I didn't mean to do that. They weigh nearly nothing. They weigh like, I could blow them across my fucking desk. And that sort of system, if this had like a clicky, like click, 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 and you could set it, be better. I don't know how you do that, but it could be better. But yeah, no, I'm still gonna I have to swap headphones. It's just nice also having a Koss headphone that doesn't have the shittiest wire on earth. Take that, plug this in. Oh, these are so much more open. Just open, just like, well, there's no attenuation of the world. This, you put them on and you lose 3 or 4 decibels of like sound. And these you put on. Let's go back to Phil Collins. Yeah, these are more musical. These are still my music go-to. Did I protect the squad? Squad. Hold on. Waiting for... Yeah, the bass is not as responsive in the clears, but these are definitely more musical sounding headphones. These are actually probably a better balance. But you don't get the width and you don't get the soundstage. But they sound like cheap fucking Koss. So what the fuck? You can't lose. You can't lose. You can't lose. You can lose. If they break, you lose. You've lost the game. I almost want to take a pair of these and like glue a reinforcement on it now. Like right now. Like brand new out of the box. Just start hot gluing it. Hot glue the shit out of it. Well, that probably wouldn't stop it from snapping. It's still going to snap. So you would have to get like a fiberglass and start putting a fiberglass over it to thicken this up. I don't know how you do it, but that would also change the clamp. You'd have to do that and then fiberglass it. I don't know. Do you own these? Anybody own these and watching this video? Or are you all just here to see if you should buy them? Because Koss has something winning in this, but it's still got those Koss fucking foibles of like, oh, it's gonna just gonna snap. Like here, this is fine too. The silicone strap and the way these adjust, like that could absolutely be worked in here. And then these would adjust in some other way because that is not stronger. Anyway, that's all for today. Put this back on here, constantly stretching that out. My little SKW cable. Wallpaper, which that is actually screenshots from the show, just stitched together. Excellent show, SSSSS Gridman. Oh, one last thing. I brought this out. If you don't know what this is the Mod Mic wireless. And this is the thing that makes it so that any of those headphones can be gaming headphones. Because the problem with having a wire is that means you have to plug it into a thing, but it has to have like a microphone in for the computer, then you have ground loop isolation, it's all bad. But this being wireless, it sounds good enough for games. Good enough. All right, I don't care about high fidelity voices for when you're screaming in Battlefield. Doesn't matter. If you're talking with people in audio conferencing all day, maybe you get like a desktop mic, but this is the perfect thing because it has very insanely strong magnet that is double-sided stickum tape, and you would just take like your KPH38 clears and you glue it right there, and then if you didn't want to use this little microphone, boom, and then there you go. Koss, I've just improved your gaming headset 30-fold, because there you go. So link to this, because I have to actually review this again, because Mod Mic sent me this and some headphones, which I've been avoiding because they're a certain brand of headphone that no one likes. No one likes them. But maybe we'll find some love. Anyway, wallpaper. There. Downloadable in the description. Patreon or subscribe star. See this review early. Bitch about it early. Get in the comments early and say first. Because people like to do that. I don't know why. It's like a weird, like, I wish you won something if you got first in enough YouTube videos. Like YouTube took you out to Hawaii or something. See reviews early, $5 a month. Participate in the yard sales. I actually have another set of these sitting in a brand new in a box over there because Koss sent me two. I'm like, great. I'll probably, do you want the brand new ones or you want the ones I've already stretched out? Because actually this is a benefit because I've had it like this and I've had them broken in. So maybe I'll sell these in the yard sale. Although the box disintegrates because it's just a shitty little Koss box. We'll see, or maybe you don't need the box. I'd probably rather sell these because someone will actually get them. They'll be professionally burned in by my professional burn-in rig. But yeah, yard sales, 1st to the 10th of every month. If you're a Patreon supporter or Subscribe Star supporter, you get in that. $10 a month gets you into the behind-the-scenes private Telegram chat where you can ask me any questions you'd like. I tend to not get the questions that are posted to Patreon or Subscribe Star or Reddit or Discord or Telegram. That is the public chat Telegram. I certainly don't go to IRC. But for $10 a month, climb that little baby paywall, and you're there for, well, you're there for a 3-month period because we only erase it every quarter. But ask me any questions you like, and you could ask those questions to the other patrons that are in there, and everyone can help you, and it's a big fucking clusterfuck of everyone's helping everybody. Just hide your wallet before you join that place. So yeah, Hi-Fi Guides and the Hi-Fi Guides forum. The Hi-Fi Guides forum is popping. I don't know if there's a section for this, but there should be, because I think with a little bit of modification, these would actually... I want to try these with different pads now, but I don't think I have any that are a D-shape and like velour. Velour D-shape pad would be like endgame. Yeah, we're done here. How are we dealing with every other day videos? Because you know I'm certainly enjoying the free time, and it gives me a little more time to like sit on things and like really hash out of my brain what I'm gonna say, which is nice. And I can watch more anime, which is nice. And I make chai tea lattes occasionally, which is nice. But yeah, no, yard sales coming up, and anime coming up, and waifus coming up, and I think I'm done. And oh, sound demo. There is a new sound demo channel that's specifically for headphones and speakers, so I don't have to put them on this channel where they get lower views, so we can just dump the lower views. And I like it because that channel now, 2 dislikes and like 100 likes. So if you don't want to see the sound demos, you don't fucking have to. They're on another channel, it doesn't concern you. But the people who want to see sound demos, I love you guys. Anyway, we're done. I'm done. You're done. See you in 2 days or in the sound demo in the description.